I should have asked you before we did this.
Chris,
am I blurry or is it me?
No, but your mic
okay.
sucks.
How do you say? Wait,
what?
Is it Tsiolis? I should have asked.
I think so.
Damn it.
Spencer, can you help me do my focus quick?
I should have asked him when I spoke to him. I didn't even think.
Can I just tell you guys? Did you see the AAI again this morning? More Bears than Bulls.
Can you guys not hear me?
We hear you loud and clear.
Steve, you look fine.
You look loud. You look great.
You
really are. Phil Perlman would be very proud of you right now. You're looking good, buddy.
Tsiolis. I'm gonna go with Tsiolis. I don't know.
Dude, I am stoked for the guest today. We have such a good conversation. I cannot wait to talk to this guy.
Who is it?
Chris. I don't think you know him.
Chris.
I've known him for years.
Tsiolis. We're gonna.
Sounds like Tsiolis. Sounds like you probably say that Tsiolis, or maybe it's Tsiolis.
I don't know.
No.
Should have asked him.
Such an important conversation that I can't believe it's taken us this long to have. Can we talk about how many Bears there are? Nobody cares.
We can start the show.
Crazy.
I
was thinking about that more yesterday.
How is that possible? New 52-week highs in the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ, and there are more Bears than Bulls for 3 weeks in a row.
I don't know if you've seen the indexes the last few days, JC, but that's how it's possible. No?
Nah. Job report.
No. Okay.
New 52-week highs.
You guys ready to do this thing? Or
what? I am ready.
Yeah, I'm starting.
I am ready. I have a kindergarten orientation tonight. I mean, I am. Woo!
Yo,
woo!
We're doing a daycare orientation thing on Sunday. It's gonna be fun.
Dude, I don't know who it's harder on, my wife or the actual child going to kindergarten.
It's crazy. All right, let's start the show. Come on.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah.
We are live on the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso with you this morning. Welcome. We have a new guest on the show today. That's who we were just talking about, Chris Tsiolis, who runs the predictionmarketer.com. And we're going to talk prediction markets. So you can bet on will there or won't there be a Fed rate change. You can bet on anything. Literally anything. What a time to be alive. You could probably bet on the stock market via prediction markets. That would be dumb, but you could do it. So we'll have Chris join us at 9. And I know JC wants to talk to him, so they will talk about prediction markets. And I imagine there's a lot of overlap in behavior and psychology between prediction markets and stock markets. But we'll find out. How about that? So it's Thursday. We'll have Sean stop by. Options with Sean, as we do pretty much every Thursday. No Kenny today. Kenny's hit the road. He'll be back tomorrow. I know we'll all miss him very much. But we got a lot to discuss. We have, I guess, more Bears and Bulls. We have Walmart earnings. Please, I hope we have time to hit on Walmart earnings this morning. It's important. Jeff Mackey says so. It is important. Speaking of Jeff Mackey, I'll drop the link in chat and on the screen. If you missed his live event yesterday with JC Parets, he unveiled the Mackey 30 index. Scan that QR code, link in chat right there. There it is. All right, let's bring on the guys. Here we go.
All right, we are back on the morning show. I just want to thank you guys, the two of you, for dealing with me every morning. Oh. Market gets me very excited. I get all fired up, and you guys put up with me. So, I want to give a shout out to my wife, who also puts up with me even more than you guys. So.
Yeah, we have a good time on here. I
mean, we'd be doing it anyway, right? Seeing what the futures are doing, talking to some smart people. We'd be talking to the smart people anyway, but this way it gives us an opportunity to let, the folks at home kind of listen in to the conversations we'd be having anyway, right?
It's how we designed and thought up the show in the early days. JC was just like, we're doing this anyway. Might as well do it on camera.
It's not unlike the allure of the show Pardon the Interruption, that famous ESPN show. They were the guys were like, hey, we argue at work all the time. Let's just argue on TV. And that's what they did.
I didn't know that.
It's
No,
the same
not
thing.
PTI, more the other one, Around the Horn.
No, PTI.
This guy in particular.
They're coworkers. They were like, we argue all day long. Let's just argue in front of a camera. So
Great
that's what
show.
they did. It's not that
Yeah,
different.
long time running.
Great sport shows.
Yeah. Anyway.
Little lull in sports right now.
Well, it's August.
He's not a baseball fan.
Yeah.
God, it's tough. It's
yeah, thanks to the chat coming in there, weighing in. I mean, best chat in the business right there. There's no doubt about it.
Harmander wants you to thank the chat. Yeah. Shout out chat. The best chat.
We see chat asking, how did I break my fast? I broke it with some I ordered out some barbecue brisket, some barbecue chicken, a little bit. It was good. Yeah.
Good. You got to go heavy protein. Otherwise, like, you don't feel good afterwards. It kills you afterwards.
That's right.
Yeah.
I may have had like a stick of like Sarpraceta, Steve. not a whole stick, but like a
Soprasat is what he's referring to there.
Sorry.
Soprasat is what he's referring to. I'm the translator here.
My bad.
The jersey.
That's a good way to come off. Like, if you want to go hard protein, you want something fatty and delicious, a little super salt, mix in some provolone next time.
Okay, next time.
Provolone, not fresh muds.
Provolone first. That's the more standard cheese and meat charcuterie board option.
Yeah, not cheddar, huh?
No, provolone.
Dude, the Marcona almonds on the charcuterie board, dude. I lived in wine country for 5 years. I can put together a charcuterie. Let me tell you.
At least as an Italian, it's always provolone first. If you're just cutting cheese for.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, yeah. All right. I'm a little goat cheese, a little.
Yeah, there's better cheeses out there. Trust me.
La Roche Chanel, the La Roche Chanel, that one. That's how the goat cheese. Hell yeah.
Oh, the Roque or whatever. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right.
A little Roque.
Let's state some markets. All right.
Roquefort's a little aggressive. You like that? All right. It's too funky for me.
All right.
Shout out to Daniel in the chat. Gouda. Hell yeah. A little Gouda. Definitely, dude. All right. We got the Dow futures. Again, the theme this week is, there's not much going on. We don't have to pretend that it's not the back half of August, right? Like, I mean, it is. So, like, act that way. We don't have to pretend. There's just not a lot going on day in and day out. But we're going to dive underneath the surface to see what is actually taking place. It's being masked by the nothingness of the indexes. You got the Dow down about a third of a percent this morning, 174. You got S&Ps down a third of a percent, down 22, just under 6,400 for S&Ps. NASDAQ 100 down close to a third of a percent as well. It's about 85 points, 23,240 in the NASDAQ 100 futures. Bond futures flat, 30-year around 114.5 for the 30-year bond futures. Crude oil flat, just under 63. Copper pretty flat, 442. Gold flat, 33.85. Silver pretty flat, just under 38. With the VIX not doing much at 16.5 there. And over in funny money land, I was looking at some of the meme coins yesterday, kind of starting to make some moves. So we got BTC this morning. We got it 113,000, down 1,000 points today, about 1% to the downside. You got Ethereum just under 4,300, down 1.3% to the downside. And then you've got old Solana 184, down 1.8%. And that brings the total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, to 3.8, just under $3.8 trillion in market capitalization. Anything stand out this morning, Strazza?
Some earnings movement, but slow morning.
Not much going on. Yeah.
No.
I mean, listen.
Crypto, I think it's developing, but just so sloppy, right? Nothing's really sticking for these cryptos, at least not yet. Well, the volatility's moving in both directions. That's like resolution style stuff. So
All right. So I just want to remind everybody that last week, weekly closing prices, new all-time highs on NASDAQ, S&P 500, and Dow. So new 52-week highs across the board. Meanwhile, if you want to throw up slide 2 there, AI came in this morning. I had a suspicion. So I looked early. I tend to not look first thing in the morning, but I was curious to see if it'd be 3 weeks in a row of more bears than bulls. And not surprisingly, sure enough, more bears than bulls once again by individual investors. This data came out this morning or in the middle of the night last night, whenever they publish it. And 3 weeks in a row now, these are individual investors, more bears than bulls, 3 weeks in a row. This is the first time that happens 3 weeks in a row since that April-May period. Mr. Steve Strazza, that April-May period, was that a good time to be buying stocks, you think?
Yeah. The best in recent
One of the
history.
best times to be buying stocks ever, as it turns out.
Yeah, the best throughout all history. You're right.
All history. Yep. And I was saying it at the time, and you were breaking my balls. I was like, dude, this is like some of the most bearish ever. And you're like, how is that possible? How is it worse than the great financial crisis? That's bullshit. You can't trust that.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It still doesn't. It doesn't make sense today.
This doesn't make sense either. How are these people so angry? Like, what are they so angry about? S&Ps, Dow, NASDAQ, all 52-week highs.
Don't you think there's an element of like these surveys change over time? Maybe the mix is just different. There's nothing to be more bearish about today.
Yeah, but you want to know something? They chase, right? You saw it. They were super bearish. I think it was 14 weeks in a row, more bears than bulls, first time ever in history. What happened from there? One of the greatest stock market rallies of all time. The biggest collapse in volatility ever, right? Happened after that. And then what happened? Then they started to turn more bullish. Notice how they only got all bearish over the last few weeks, but before that, there were more bulls than bears. They changed their minds.
No, I know it. It's just
now they're angry again.
The problem for me is more that like when you go out and talk to people, it doesn't feel this way. So like the data providers, the survey people, like they should almost answer some questions about this. I feel like Billy Cunningham. Where does this data come from? I don't know anyone who's bearish. Like that's
dude. Mackie, I was talking to Mackie yesterday. Can you drop a link, Spencer, for the video that I did with Mackie yesterday? I thought it was awesome. He is the man. Like seriously, Jeff Mackie really is.
How'd it go? I got to watch the replay.
Dude, you would love it. He's so good. Oh, yeah. He's so good. It was fantastic. So drop the link in the chat. Talking to Mackie yesterday, and I'm like, dude, the University of Michigan consumer confidence is like some of the worst we've ever seen in history. And he's like, I got to tell you, they're not acting like that. He's like, they're buying, they're spending money. TJ Maxx and all these companies just absolutely ripping. They're buying jeans. Guess just got bought out yesterday.
Yeah, Nathan just says Main Street economy is dead. I'm not seeing it, and it's not really showing up in the economic data, at least not yet either. We had one little scary tick higher in the unemployment rate, I guess. But outside of that, what, you want to talk about Red Book sales? I mean, there's nothing.
What's a Red Book sale?
I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that in a minute.
What is a Red Book? I'm not. This isn't a goof. I truly have never heard this. What is a Red Book?
The thing with economic data, Spencer, do you agree? There's too much of it that you could always build a story in either direction. You could pick some sort of,
what is a Red Book?
Like obscure piece of economic data to paint whatever story you want to tell.
I don't actually know what the Red Book is. It's just a retail sales data point.
Sales.
Yeah. But Steve, you're right, and that's actually what attracted me to Sam Rowe's newsletter email, because he does this thing where he reviews he calls them the macro cross currents, and that's what they are. They're literally they're cross currents, because you go, oh, that's bullish, oh, that's bearish, oh, it makes no sense. What the hell? And you're totally right, Steve. We live in sense of it? You cannot make sense of it. There is too much. Every day there is more data, and it all conflicts with each other. One day you get ADP. The ADP number says there's no jobs. The next day you get a jobs report. Oh my God, there's so many jobs. Doesn't make any sense, right? Too much data. Can't make sense of it.
And it comes out around the same time on different time frames. Some's estimates, some's revised. It's very.
Slide 6, because this
a lot of it is survey based. Let's be honest. I mean, most of it is survey based.
Hold on.
Look at this one.
I'll
This is
tell
a
you
good
one
one. This is
thing.
going into yesterday, so this doesn't include yesterday's data. This is just in the month of August. Small cap consumer discretionary, 9.5%. And just updated after yesterday.
Say that again.
Small cap consumer discretionary, up 9.5%. Best performing sector in August.
You know what that is. That's the speculative growth trade. That's ARK. It's a lot of that. If you go look at the holdings.
Yeah, but if you look at small cap tech, it's up less than 1%. Underperforming the Russell 2000, actually.
Those two usually walk in line.
But look at the dispersion between them in August.
No, I know. Interesting. Tech looks just fine to me. I think some of the AI stuff has gotten hit pretty good.
Here, throw up slide 4 for all the Dow haters. Oh, it's price weighted, JC. That's stupid, right? You know how you people tell me that.
These charts aren't rolling over though. Even these really techie, growthy charts.
Guess who made a new all-time high yesterday?
Some nice
The
consolidation.
equally weighted Dow.
New all-time highs. Is that funny to you?
You're a freak.
Spencer, is this chart here to amuse you?
Yeah.
How is this funny? How is this
equally
funny?
weighted Dow.
Tell me. I don't see the humor in the chart.
Regular version. Why does this exist?
I don't see the humor here. What is the problem with this chart? Sorry, is this the new all-time high? Is this not entertaining? Are you not entertained by the new all-time high?
We're clearly entertained. You're laughing us out of the room.
I don't understand. No, is this bearish?
What's the take?
I'm not sure why this exists.
Did they break it?
All right, so we're talking about the Dow like every day here.
Too high?
All right, so stop. So here's what's going on. We're talking about the Dow. JC will not stop talking about the Dow for the simple fact that right now, at least since last week, the Dow is the only one still working of the major averages.
No, JC always talks about the Dow. Don't give me that shit.
It's kind of true. All right, you're fair. I'll give you that. You do. Anyway, there's a reason to talk about the Dow for a change since last week because the Dow is holding up and still basically making new all-time highs while NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 roll over. What does that mean to you?
Well, first of all, it's Thursday. All three of those close at all-time weekly closing highs on Friday. So let's relax with the, they're not, right? Relax. Go to the next one there. This is the old school. This is the OG. Throw up the OG. This is the OG Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is the price-weighted one that gets all people all up in a tizzy because it's price-weighted. They can't wrap their heads around it, which is hilarious in and of itself, watching grown adults lose their minds because of how an index is calculated. But nevertheless, the last time that we had an all-time high daily close was on December the 4th of 2024. That was the last time you had an all-time high daily close. That is the birthday of my father and Jay-Z, the rapper, December the 4th. They're not the same age.
Yep, that's great.
We haven't made a new all-time high yet. Does this look like a top, Mr. Strazza? Mr. Chief Strategist of All-Star Charts, Mr. Technical Analysis Extraordinaire? Does this look like a lot of the tops that you're used to seeing?
No, but I also I don't think it should be drawn like an inverse head and shoulders either.
You draw however you want. Forget the smiley faces. Let's pretend the smiley faces weren't there.
It's a great chart, but I'm trying to get you to opine on what it means to you. Say this breaks out. Are the S&P and NASDAQ going to or no?
Could take longer because of what's in them. Remember, the NASDAQ is half of it is tech, and the S&P a third of it is tech, and the Dow's less than 20% tech. So you're really increasing the other components, right? Which is why the Dow has not made a new all-time high yet, and the others did because of that growth exposure. And now the Dow is holding up better than those others because of the other exposure that it has. A lot of financials here, industrials.
I feel like we had this conversation yesterday.
My point is, does this look like a top? Is the bottom line?
No, I think it looks good. I think you want to own more Dow stock. Hey, I think this is along the same lines. I added some real estate and utility stocks to the long-term account yesterday.
This guy buying real estate and utilities. What's this world coming to, Spencer? The chief YOLO officer over here buying utes and real estate.
I just sprinkled little positions in a handful from each sector.
Unbelievable. Can you throw up slide 7? I want to hear your thoughts on this one, Strazza.
Because people freak out when you have price action like the other day where your growth stocks are down and other stuff is holding up. And instead of freaking out, you know what you could do? You could just go and just change up the mix of what you own so that that doesn't happen to you when you get a day like that next time.
I saw a lot of this headline yesterday.
So what do you think? You think the president of the United States is buying so many bonds because he thinks rates are going up?
So he's buying bonds personally? What do you mean?
That's what it said.
So this has to be, well, he can't buy things. He can't invest in things. So is this clearly
he is.
I mean, he kind of can.
Someone might be doing it for him, but let's keep it real.
My point. Okay. Well, whatever.
He may have written off, power of attorney or whatever shenanigans, take place, but we all know.
This is probably fake news.
Fake news.
It wouldn't surprise me if this was a giant nothing burger, but it does make for a great headline, right?
And then too,
is he buying it? Is he buying it because he thinks rates are going up?
I think he knows rates are going down. It's just
that's my point. That's my point here.
Like I know. It's a matter of when, how long does that take? But the pressure is on.
Like the guy or hate the guy. He went on Twitter, told you to buy stocks, and if you would have listened, you would have made a fuck ton of money. The people that got angry about it and didn't do anything about that.
Well, yes,
and he's done it more than once at this point, hasn't he?
So I'm just saying, like, there's a track record here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think that rates are going up?
Wrong.
No. This is not the president telling you to buy bonds.
I agree. This is different.
You'll know when he tells you to buy bonds. You know how you'll know?
Also true.
He will tell you to buy bonds.
Just throw up slide 8 because this is one of the most. This is the most interesting situations ever. Commercial hedgers have never been more net long of treasury bonds. Speculators, these are hedge fund managers and asset managers that historically are terrible at their jobs, and the speculators are the most net short ever. Hedgers are the most net long ever. The president of the United States buying bonds. I mean, this is some of the most compressed volatility we've seen in almost a decade. Strazza, as somebody who looks at volatility compression as much as you,
it's amazing. I love what's going on in these bond fund charts right now. Did we talk about it like 2 weeks ago? Have you looked at the zeros? Pull up ZROZ. I mean, wow. But a lot of these just major historic support zones coming into play. And you got stuff like what JC's describing going on in the background. If rates do come down, like we're saying, then these will pay off. And
but you see what we're doing here? Like this is what actually matters, right?
Nice
the fact
yields.
that Trump's buying bonds, the fact that hedgers are doing what they're doing, the specs are dumb and they're selling, right? Like that is additional information that would suggest line go up or no? I don't know. I think so.
The real question is, John Glover says, what is the Pelosi crime family buying? We haven't gotten one from Nancy.
Not a lot of Pelosi YOLOs.
She usually comes in and buys that dip in growth. So maybe
seeing
another
a filing soon. It's a good point.
Another couple red candles out here might get Nancy in hitting up some call options. She buys deep in the money calls as a way to just pay less to own more of the largest stocks in the world. What she's doing is not like crazy or secretive or impressive. It's super standard, and she's literally running a book of holdings that looks strikingly similar to something like the S&P 500 or NASDAQ.
Well,
so
the Nance ETF made new all-time highs yesterday.
It's funny though, Spencer, that I'm seeing advertisements for this all over. What is it? Autopilot? Oh God, they're marketing everywhere.
It was not yesterday. That was
doing the rounds.
It was last week.
Have I told you I think these funds are ridiculous?
They are dumb. Yes, we know they're dumb.
Don't touch these things with a 10-foot pole. These are some of the stupidest things that were ever launched. You know what might be the worst? Like the inverse Kramer. Some of these things.
That's not even around anymore, Steve.
People are so stupid. To make a fund just because they hate another person that much. Worry about yourself.
No, it's not so much that they hate them. It's that they're making the bet that other people hate them too. Like it's more like that. It's not so much you can put something out. You don't have to necessarily believe in it, but if you believe that there's going to be enough demand where you can make money. I
don't even get that. So if you hate Nancy Pelosi, you're going to buy a fund that tracks her holdings. That doesn't.
No, you would short it if you really hated her, but no.
But most people buy, they don't short. So I don't understand it.
Investing is hard the way
I
it
don't-
is. Imagine coming in and just paying attention to all these things that don't matter and making it that much harder on yourself.
Bill brings up a good point on the Intel. I feel like you guys have a better grasp on what's going on than me. Can you throw up that slide 2 there? Can you guys walk me through what's happening?
Bill, I dropped this in the chat yesterday. I said, I don't know how this is not a bigger story. This is crazy. This is Intel, one of the largest tech companies in the history of the United States. Are they socializing it? Are we trying to socialize the?
Can you tell me what's happening? I don't actually don't know.
Like, are we freaking out? Like, we want some sort of like stake in this game as AI heats up? I don't really understand this, but I hate it. And I think it's just bad business, bad policy.
What happened?
It's un-American. They're taking 10% stake in Intel or something.
The government is allegedly negotiating. Nothing is official yet, but they're negotiating to take up to a 10% stake in Intel.
People should be going nuts about this.
And why are they doing that? Is it like national security because of chips and stuff, or no?
Well,
probably because if you look inside Intel, they're a going concern and they need something like this.
I don't know about that. But remember,
like, do you think they're just looking for the biggest piece of shit they can get cheap so they can get exposure, kind of?
No.
Yeah, the U.S. wants skin in this game, I think.
So you're not going to get a piece of some of the good ones, so you might as well buy the biggest piece of crap.
That's what it feels like,
right?
What is the reason for it, Spencer? What is the reason for this?
Remember 2 weeks ago the president like pretty much called for the CEO of Intel to be fired.
National security.
Right?
Yeah, national security, right?
The president said the CEO of Intel should be fired. That's what he said.
I'm sure he's buying bonds because of national security.
So then the guy goes to the White House to meet.
Yeah, this is right. This is how it started. Trump calls him out on Twitter, says they should fire the CEO. He's got ties to China.
So he makes the pilgrimage, the holy pilgrimage to the White House. He goes to the Mecca, and the next thing we know, 10% government stake in the company. Right?
I gotta tell you. For the way that Trump comes off sometimes, he's quite savvy in the way he goes about things. This is all planned. Think about it. He's skewing the public perception on Intel, right? So that when this news comes out that the government's looking to take a stake, it's like, oh, we have to because they're, enemies of the state. They're agents of the Chinese government. The U.S. needs to take a stake and get in there. Like, this is all like positioning the story.
Yeah.
So this is scary. I don't like it at all. This is the worst thing Trump administration's done.
But what about the rare earth stuff? Like
this is definitely not. This is definitely not. Wait.
Different.
Aren't you the one buying utilities here, sir?
Oh Jesus!
What's that got to do with this?
This is not the worst thing that the Trump administration is doing.
This is the worst thing. This is the single worst thing.
Okay. No.
Easily.
Oh,
how do we make money off it? This is a nothing burger because it's still in this hot mess.
You don't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, forget it.
I got to tell you, what if we start getting above? What if we start getting above those highs, though? You got to trade above 28. You start getting the 30s. You got to squeeze into the 50 maybe.
This chart does not go back far enough for me. I need to see more Intel history to.
All you need to know is that those former highs from 2000 are a lot higher than here. So don't worry.
And
it's higher than you think, Spencer.
I know. That's what I want to see.
Just to come full circle on our conversation on economic data from earlier, this is just a normal day. This is just a Thursday in the stock market. 8:30 a.m. jobless claims. Again at 8:30, Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index.
That's today?
Yep. 9:45 a.m. PMI composite flash. 10 a.m. existing home sales. 10 a.m. leading indicators. 10 a.m. quarterly services survey. 10:30 a.m. EIA natural gas report. And there's no Fed speak today or any stuff like that to cloud the calendar further. But it's absolutely ridiculous.
Isn't there aren't they having a little kumbaya?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Oh.
Jason.
What are they doing today? They're not talking to each other at all. They're just staring at each other. No one's getting drunk and
JC likes to come on here and poke at economists. I think we should just be grateful. Like, somebody has to do this job. They come in and look through all.
Think about how many journalists they keep employed with all that shit that Strazza just rattled off. Right?
What?
Think about how many journalists they're keeping employed with all that shit you just rattled off.
Crazy.
I know.
None of it matters.
No.
No, I think most people would agree that most of it does. Even the journalists would agree that most of that stuff does not matter, right?
Sony chart looks great. Shout out Sony.
All right,
Looks good.
it's 9 o'clock. Should we bring on today's guest? Should we talk? Let's move this away from whatever that was just there to something more fun and lighthearted.
I am so excited for this conversation. Can I just tell you guys? You guys are in for a real treat. We're gonna
tell us why. Tell us why you're excited.
Because I've always been fascinated by the betting markets because there's actual money involved. So rather than like polls and like voting, like, oh, this is what they're saying, this is what they're doing. I'm more of a, as a technician, sorry. I mean, I'm more interested in what they're doing than what they're saying. We were talking about it throughout the election. There were people who were seeing the betting odds saying that it was going to be a Trump victory. And they were saying that, oh, it's 4 people in the back of a room manipulating this. And I was like, are they just hoping that that's what it is because they don't like what the information is telling them? Or do they actually believe that? And in hindsight, it was quite obvious. They were just people that were very upset at the information that the betting markets were giving them because they didn't like Trump or whatever it is. So they're just making things up about the manipulation there. And as it turns out, the betting markets were spot on. It wasn't some conspiracy. Democrats just lost, and the betting markets were already pricing that in. And that was fascinating to me. And I was actually... it has nothing to do with politics. I was rooting for the betting markets to be right because I want a market that gives us that information. Like I was thinking bigger picture, and I was rooting for them to be right. For that reason, it has nothing to do with politics. I don't give a shit who your president is, right? I'm more interested selfishly in data that we can use to make money in the market. That's what I want. And we got it. And we got a guy here, Chris, who's going to walk us through how we can use that to our advantage. I don't know anybody who knows this market better than he does.
So cool. And this data can't get worse, right? If you talk about, oh, it's not great now, guess what? It only gets more efficient over time as these markets grow.
With more liquidity, and you're talking tens of billions of dollars. Like this is real, they're real money. You're talking about meme coins. You got a real market here, bro.
You know how you know the betting markets are real? Companies like Coinbase and Robinhood, who are getting into traditional finance or trying to, like Coinbase, are also getting into the betting markets. DraftKings, right? They all want to be in this space.
CME just did a partnership with FanDuel.
All the big guys want in on this. So yeah, it's legit.
I wonder if there's a betting market for will the U.S. take a stake in Intel? Oh, let's find out.
What's going on with the dildos?
The green dildos? This is not... Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
What's up, Chris? How are you, my friend?
What's up, guys? I'm awesome. How are you guys?
Good. I was so excited for this conversation. I'm texting you this morning. I was all fired up.
Yeah, totally. Spencer, there is a market on whether or not the U.S. will take a stake in Intel, actually. Poly market.
Slide 15, please. Chartmaster, flex.
That is too good. Did you set that up, Spencer, or were you legitimately asking?
No, I pay attention.
Nice. Okay, so then this is real.
This is real. The market's been listed for a couple days now, since August 19th, and there's only $5,500 in volume, so pretty small market here, but nonetheless, it's here, it's live, you can trade it. So
that's unbelievable. Can you listen? You wrote a good piece. We're gonna publish that piece for everybody. But there were some points that you were making in that note that were so good that I really want you to share with the rest of the audience. First of all, the little bit of the history. You could take down the Intel chart. Nobody actually cares about Intel. And the liquidity there speaks to that point. Because I've been following these since, like, what was the one back in the day? InTrade, was that one?
InTrade was one of them. Yeah.
There have been, predicted. There have been a few over the years. And then over, cycle over cycle, they've just gotten more liquidity, more recognition. Can you tell the folks a little bit about the history of these betting markets, first of all, and kind of just fill us in on where the world literally sits right now?
Yeah, totally. I mean, so these markets have been around for, centuries, actually. The Romans used to do prediction markets, right? They had these systems of voting systems and betting. Thomas Jefferson wanted to do lotteries.
Romans had prediction markets?
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, they were like the very first kind of opinion markets, right? Just taking bets on opinion. And Thomas Jefferson wanted to do lotteries for taxation, right? Which is basically a form of a prediction market. And they were, the early Wall Street guys, I think in the 1800s, were taking bets on who's going to become president. There really weren't any laws around that time. And then, of course, in the modern times, in the 90s, they had a couple markets coming out of, I think it was Boulder, Colorado. One of the universities ran an experiment, right? And for politics, right? For presidential markets. And then lately, of course, you have, platforms like Polymarket, Kalshi, which in the last, 3-4 years have really grown a mature market out of this. And now, of course, they're federally regulated. Well, Kalshi is, at least. And it's becoming legit. Like you guys were saying earlier, this is a legit market now.
No, I love to see it, and kind of having a front row seat to the kind of the evolution. Maybe I'm not as familiar with the inner workings behind the scenes as some other people, but as an observer, as a practitioner of markets, I've seen it like every single cycle, more and more and more liquidity and everything like that. You're seeing the CME. If you want to throw up slide 2 there, this was the CEO of the CME group talking about the deal that they just worked out with FanDuel. He says, together with FanDuel, America's premier online gaming company, we are developing a new easy-to-access event contracts platform, allowing millions of U.S. customers to express views on equities, gold, oil, crypto, and more for as little as $1. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, this is so interesting because I've been saying this in all the content in the live streams. It's like when people put their money where their mouth is, when they actually put money behind their opinions, they tend to tell the truth. And that's why you see these prediction markets are so much more accurate than traditional polls, because when somebody puts something at stake behind their opinion, they mean it. They got money to lose. So you see the accuracy numbers going up. I mean, everyone's, running to this. Robinhood's getting in the game, CME, Interactive Brokers, Petterfee down in Florida. Like, they're getting into this because they just see it as a natural, kind of merging of especially the options world. Because that's what these are, right? These prediction markets are essentially binary option contracts.
And there's real money being made. Can you talk about the dude, Freddie or whatever his name was? He made like $80 million on the election. What was his handle?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact handle on that one, but yeah,
Frankie or Freddie 99 or something.
There's a couple guys who do this professionally, and we're talking like big time. We're in the millions. I mean, there's a couple, like Zubby is one of them. There's another trader named Zubby. Gayton is another guy. Like, some of these guys are making multi-million-dollar bets on entertainment bets. We're talking about things like Rotten Tomatoes scores, like with movies. Wow. $1 million bets. I mean, like, Spotify charts in terms of where the songs are going to fall on album releases.
Wow.
In addition to like politics and some of the more traditional assets, right? You're seeing guys betting on Fed interest rates, whether or not the Fed's going to move, job numbers. It's just, there are professionals that are coming in here and really treating this like a real asset class, and they're making millions doing it. The cool thing also is that this data is published. So unlike the option markets where it's a little, opaque, you can't really see a lot of the who's behind the volume, in the prediction markets, this is published. So you can actually see the size in real time, which is pretty cool.
You talked about some of the precedent. You talk about the Romans, Thomas Jefferson. You mentioned that like there were Oscars betting markets like 25 years ago or something like that, and they were nailing the winners of these awards.
Yeah, they were running. I believe I gotta go look up I don't want to misspeak. It was, I think, the University of Boulder in Colorado. They opened it up to like their student base, and they had the students guess who's going to win the best picture, best director, and it was the same kind of thing. They had small nominal bets. It wasn't it was like $5-10, whatever. But when people started putting that money behind it, you just started to see the sentiment kind of just shake itself out, like you do in any kind of market. And the crowd was generally right, which was interesting, right? They're not always right, but it was just this consolidation of opinion that kind of had never been seen before. There was never a vehicle for that. So, and it could be done in entertainment, in sports, just across the board. It's amazing. It's incredible.
In some cases, I feel it's a little redundant when, you're betting on the price of a stock, or you're betting on the price of a futures contract. There's already other ways to bet on that. I'm more interested in the stuff that there aren't ways to bet on. But am I wrong in thinking in that redundancy? Or do you think that there's value in seeing, the betting markets in terms of, where they think prices can go?
Yeah, I think it's twofold, right? There's definitely, there's probably not as much of an arbitrage opportunity, but I think as the volumes start to increase in these prediction markets, you're just going to see parity with traditional assets, right? That goes without saying. And I know there's companies like Susquehanna, some of the big boys are already involved in making markets in the prediction markets as well. So I think you're going to see parity when it comes to the more traditional financial assets. But what it gives you on the other hand is kind of that public sentiment, which there's really no way to measure it in a yes/no feature, right? Like, what is the real public opinion on whether or not Powell's going to jack up interest rates? Like, where do you go from that? Yeah, I mean,
throw up that chart.
Those kind of bets really can't be measured in the traditional financial, in the financial assets, right? Where you have one price. Here you're getting basically multiple strike prices with a very clear binary yes or no outcome. And you can see how it moves and how it trends over time. So, as a technical analyst like yourself, I mean, you can actually now like measure the change in sentiment over time, which is something we've never been able to do in the past.
So, Call sheet is available for traders in the United States. Polymarket is not, and Polymarket uses crypto, right? Call sheet uses crypto too, or no?
That's correct. Kalshi does offer crypto deposits and withdrawals. You can only trade Kalshi in the United States, can't trade it outside the United States, and you cannot trade Polymarket inside the United States. You can trade it pretty much anywhere outside the United States. That's right.
Are there any other big markets that don't allow Polymarket, or is it just the United States?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I think
what's the beef with America and Polymarket?
It's really CFTC regulation. So, one of the things that I think Kalshi has really gotten it right. I mean, they took a long time to go to market. They were working on this for years. Their team is very compliant as far as what I can see, in terms of the public filings and even the way that they're going about kind of these court cases now, because they're getting some pushback from some of these state regulators, some of the sports books. They're fighting back, right? But they've really kind of gone about the application process and the approval process the right way. And it took them a while to go to market. Whereas Polymarket, I don't want to say bypass some of those things, but like they went to market much earlier.
Yeah,
they said, you know what, we'll just take crypto, we'll do it internationally. And their volumes are much bigger, but there's just two different approaches, in terms of how they kind of want to do business. So
no, it's really interesting. What's the over-under on how long it takes somebody to acquire Kalshi?
I made a prediction on this a couple months ago, actually.
Is there a prediction market for that?
I don't know if there's an actual market. I don't know if they can list markets on themselves. That would be kind of an interesting regulatory, thing. But look, there's a lot of players that are involved. They have deals with Robinhood, who I think is probably their biggest and closest partner. If I was, to say my opinion, that probably makes the most sense in terms of somebody acquiring them. But they have other partnerships like Webull and some others, where they're listing Kalshi markets. So it's really, I think, JC, a sense of whether or not
what's a company like that worth? Have they raised money?
Kalshi? No, they say there's a $2 billion valuation on it. I don't think they probably don't need outside funding at this point. I mean, they're crushing it. They did $2 billion in sports bets alone this year.
And they're just taking a piece of every transaction?
Yeah, it's just like a brokerage model. They literally take a fee. I mean, they have a spread on each trade, and they're taking a fee. They also offer 4% interest on your open positions and on your cash. So you're getting paid just to sit there. I mean, it's quite a business model. Yeah.
I'm moving your betting account into money market funds. It's hilarious concept to me. That's real life though. Yeah. And so what about on the sports side, right? So that's something I'm really interested in. Obviously, betting is, off the charts. You're seeing the intra game betting markets, right? Throughout, you'll see it, and you'll see like the percentage of victory changing throughout the game. They're getting involved in sports as well, but not to a huge degree yet anyway, right?
They're getting really serious about it. I think the last number I saw, Kalshi, their business was, I think, over 70% sports contracts. So they got known for this whole election betting, but like in the last year since they
but there haven't been any elections. Here, throw up slide 16 so you can see just how many random things. Kanye hacked.
Yeah, this is Polymarket. Now, Polymarket, this is just to show you how like the wide range of bets that you can bet on. Elections, Kanye, the ceasefire in Israel. I mean, you literally, they have a market for everything, man. I mean, it's just incredible. And they just announced, so Kalshi just announced over-under betting and spread betting in football. So we're in football preseason, and they literally, like yesterday, just announced that through Robinhood. So get this, in your brokerage account, you're going to be able to trade over-unders and point spreads from the same account.
This season, this football season in
Right
Robinhood,
now.
you're going to be able to bet.
Right now, as of
Wow.
yesterday.
And that's a deal. And that's a deal with Kalshi or a deal with like FanDuel or one of those?
So it's directly Robinhood doing a deal with Kalshi, they're offering Kalshi markets on the Robinhood platform.
So you can rotate like out of treasury bonds and into the Chicago Bears if you wanted to.
Essentially, yes.
Wow. That is really something.
Yep. And get 4% for sitting and waiting.
Like imagine being like, in the old days, like, we'd go to the bar for the 1 o'clock game, show up at noon. By the time the 8 o'clock games start, you're lit, right? And like the place is going bananas. Like back in the day, I think in the city, what was it, Bounce we used to go to? Dude, by the time the 8 o'clock game started, that place was crazy, right? I couldn't imagine like being in that situation, having the ability to get my phone, sell my Ethereum, and bet on the Steelers that night or whatever, right? Like I've never been like a gambling guy, but like the fact that would even be possible in the state of mind that I was in those moments, like on a Sunday raging, man, that is dangerous, dude. Dangerous.
It's here. It's reality.
Wow. Thank goodness I am a grown adult and I don't behave that way anymore. So I'm not in those vulnerable positions, but I feel for, other people that are in where I was now. Sure. Right. That's dangerous stuff, man. It's dangerous stuff. I mean, that was like 15 years ago. I was doing that kind of stuff, but man,
trader beware,
dude. Seriously. Fortunately, the people doing that tend to be younger and don't have as much money to blow yet. So there's that, right?
Yeah.
God forbid you're killing it in your mid-20s. Man, that could be dangerous. All right. And then so moving forward, right? So like it got a lot of our attention with the election, right? That was really interesting. We see kind of like the gimmicky, sort of bets and everything. Like, where's the real growth? Like when we have this conversation 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 12 months from now, we're still not going to have any elections. I guess we're going to have some midterms a year from now. And that might, take some, some of the volume, but just outside of that, where do you think the real growth is?
Yeah, I think they're going after the sports books. I think that's going to be, sports is a huge business. I think it's much more efficient than the traditional sports books. I mean, like you said, you can trade in and out of these positions. I mean, you're bringing now a trading model to the sports betting world, which is something that really has never been seen before. Liquidity, you're bringing liquidity to the sports trading world. And these big players are continuing to get involved, like CME, they're going to get in, the markets are going to become more efficient. And then it's really going to become a legal battle, whether or not that federal CFTC precedent kind of outrules some of these state legislatures, which, the sports books have paid a lot of money to get, regulated in these individual states. So that's
how about the transparency, as a data guy, data driven, everything I do, the transparency that you're seeing in the sports betting in the betting markets versus in the casinos. In the casinos, they don't tell you, the bid and the ask and how big it is. Like, this is what it is. You can take it or not. Like, you can't, there's no transparency. There's no blockchain technology where you can see the on-chain data. Like, there's none of that, right? Like, you can't, there's no liquidity information, none of that. In these markets, you have all of those things. Like, as a data-driven guy, that's very attractive.
Absolutely. Totally open, transparent. You go to Vegas, you don't know how much money's bet on the game. You have no idea what the volumes are.
You hear afterwards, kind of, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go.
Who knows how real those numbers are anyway, right?
That's right. That's right. Efficient markets, man. A win for efficient markets.
No, you're seeing it in real time. I love that. Like, I'm always going to root for that. Like, even if I'm not a betting guy, like that information, I'm not a politics guy either, but that information is really informative for other things that we're doing that I do care about.
100%. Absolutely. It's free markets. It's the true free markets at work.
No, I absolutely love it. And so this isn't going away. So regulators are not going to come in and put a squadouche on this at all. Quite the opposite. The fact that there's all these partnerships going on with publicly traded players, regulated players, is just further evidence that this is here to stay. You better get used to it. You better learn more about it because this is a real at the very least, a data set that we can use to take it, even if you're not trading in these things. Like, have I ever traded? I guess I have traded in these things. But I'm not like a big player, quite the opposite in these markets. I focus elsewhere, but nevertheless, you know, I really appreciate the data that we're getting here because it's crowdsourced information.
That's exactly right. And to note, you have a favorable administration, right? Trump and the Trump brothers. I think one of them is a spokesperson and a board member for Kelce. So it's the administration's very favorable on this. So you know, there's that. So
that's really interesting. And then so you're in Chicago and New York, back and forth, huh?
Back and forth, Chicago, New York, Miami, Athens, Greece. I'm everywhere, man.
You coming to happy hour next week or what?
Yeah. I'll see you next week in the city.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. We're gonna have a nice little
Absolutely.
party.
It'll be fun.
All right. Well, listen, before we let you run, because you know, I appreciate all the time you've given us. I know you're a busy guy, but we have you here. So is there anything that we didn't talk about? Anything that really stands out that you want to make sure that, you know, the folks at home, you know, a good takeaway for them to keep in the back of their minds?
Yeah, just keep an eye, especially on the sports part of this. You know, it's brand new that they're offering now sports market spreads and the regulatory landscape. I think that you're going to start to see a trend in more and more of these states really having to, you know, back down to the federal government. You know, don't forget the federal trumps all the state, you know, legislation. So keep an eye on that, and you're going to continue to see bigger deals and M&A in this space. So it's a real business and it's a real market. So.
And it's a 24/7 market for those people who think the stock market, you know, should close and open. More and more markets, if you hadn't noticed, are staying open 24/7. So if you think stocks aren't going that way, you got something coming.
That's it.
Mr. Chris, I appreciate it, my man. I'll see you next week. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, JC.
All right, adios.
Thank you.
How good was that? Come on. That was so good.
Prediction markets are taking over the world, I guess. Is that the conclusion?
That was so good. That is such an important market that, you know, we were talking about it quite a bit around the election because of the information it was suggesting. We haven't really talked much about it since, but there is a lot going on. How about that, Spencer? You could rotate out of your, you know, your arc YOLO and into the New York Giants.
I think what's interesting too is that prediction markets like definitely have not reached the mainstream yet. Like you don't see ads. I don't know anyone in my life. No one in my life
knows.
In
podcasts, you hear it in podcasts. This is brought to you by Polymarket. Like you hear it in podcasts.
A little bit. No one in my life has ever mentioned anything about this to me, right?
Like normies in your life, like civilians.
No. My rule of thumb is like, do my parents know about this? And that applies for everything. That applies to like sports. It applies to anything. News. My parents do not know this exists. Like no chance in hell that they know about this, right? So with that just says that there's just so much more room to run. I mean, we're probably in like, should have asked Chris, probably in like the first or second inning, I would think.
Gotta be. Right? I mean, it's still super tiny, right?
Yeah.
Still super tiny. You're getting partnerships between the CME and FanDuel. Like
I didn't even know about that until
that just came out yesterday. You know, I'm on the pulse of the market here, Mr. Spencer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the news guy around here now.
That's right.
So so that's big. And then the fact that Robinhood, and like think about it, like back in the day, like that's real life. I remember being in my 20s, you get to the bar for the 1 o'clock games at noon. By the time the night games start, you're lit. Imagine having the ability to trade straight from your Robinhood account on the game that night. I would have made some bad decisions. And I wasn't even like a gambler, and I probably would have made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
That's no good.
I mean, I think we are clearly heading towards a society where anything is bettable. Anything can get a market, right?
And is there anything wrong with that?
No, because we always used to like joke like, oh, if I could bet on this, you know what I mean? But now that's really not. That's not theoretical. It's
and it does provide actual value, right? Like it's not like like sugar, or that's just literally poison, right? Like there's actual value in these betting markets because you're crowdsourcing information. Like there's actual data output from this. So there is a value to society that all these idiots are gambling on everything, right? Like, the lottery's a tax on the stupid. Well, this isn't too far off, right? So
no, it is not.
What?
No one is not too far off at all.
Yeah.
This is dangerous. As someone that likes to gamble, this is
But we're getting good data from it, so I think it's okay. You don't need to go to the bar, the local bar on Tuesday at noon and kick everybody out of there because they shouldn't be drinking in the middle of the day during the week. And you're not going to stop the obese person from walking through the cookie aisle, right? Like you got to let them make poor choices. It is what it is, right? So I think this is no different, but how it's different than those other things is this is actually providing value to society. So I'm all for it. YOLO away, kids. Right.
I don't know about the value to society part. I think it's cool. I think it's fun, and I think it's cool. But I wouldn't go past that. In any
Smash,
case,
reminding you of his days at Brother Jimmy's. Which dude? I used to go to Brother Jimmy's, the one on, I think it was 72nd Street and 2nd Avenue. When I was an intern at Merrill, when I was 21 years old, we would go there on Monday nights. It was like $13, all you can eat wings, all you could drink beer for 2 hours. You had 2 hours on a Monday night to drink as much beer as you could and eat as many wings and rib tips as humanly possible at Brother Jimmy's, all the way on the Upper East Side.
what year is this?
This was 2003, summer 03.
All right, so that's like $20 today.
Maybe, but $13, dude. We used to take the subway up to the Upper East Side. I was living down in Soho, and we take the subway all the way to the Upper East Side for that special. I knew where all the specials
Man,
in town were.
you really slept, didn't you? You're really
Dude, from Soho to the Upper East Side on a Monday?
Oh,
Yeah,
what an odyssey. What a hike. Speaking of hikes, you know who likes to hike? Sean McLaughlin likes to hike.
Bring them out, bring them out.
How's that for a segue? You like that, Sean?
I see what you did there. I
Yeah.
see what you did.
That was
Johnny
that
baby.
was a smooth segue there, Spencer. Well done. Well
That
done.
was good.
Hey,
that was
shout
good.
out Brother
Sean's
Jimmy's.
here.
Shout
You
out Brother
went-
Jimmy's. I've been there before.
They used to have, they closed them. They used to have one in Murray Hill. That was the Canes bar. It was owned by Jonathan Vilma.
I think that's the one I hung out at, the one in Murray Hill, because my college roommate grew up in Murray Hill, so like that's where his place was. So we would hang out over there. Hey, old man in the room here, old man alert. I want to bring in the opinion that was not discussed with our previous guest about the betting. I agree with the betting on things like politics and all this. It gives us really good data.
Yeah.
But as the father of an 11-year-old boy who's really into sports, who's watching sports on TV all the time, watching it on YouTube, he's getting hit over the head all the time about betting. And I got to tell you, Spencer, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that my son is being exposed to this gambling mentality in his face all the time about sports. It's taken away the fun of just rooting for sports and having a team that you root for. And now all of a sudden it's like you got to be thinking about the betting angle on all these games. And for adults, that's fine. I have no problem with it for adults, but for kids, I don't know. It makes me uneasy.
Yeah, you're right. That's a whole can of worms.
JC's got two young boys who I'm sure will be sports fans when they get older, and then he'll start seeing that through a different lens too, I think.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid it. So you gotta I guess it's about the love of the game, right? I don't know what you say. But,
I see Steve in our private chat saying just buy DraftKings and get over it. I'm totally on board with that. DraftKings looks great here. Actually, I was just looking at that chart just a little while ago.
Yeah, but Shawnee, listen, back in the day when I was growing up, you could bet also, and my dad could bet. He didn't, but he could bet. And we would go in the newspaper. I had season tickets to the Dolphins and the Hurricanes my whole life. And I remember on the way there, having the newspaper in my hand and going through all the big games and talking with my dad about the spread. Like, oh, you really think Notre Dame's going to win by 12? And then we'd walk through it and he'd be like, oh, because of this and that. So we would talk about the spreads and the games. We wouldn't actually bet, but it was kind of part of the conversation. And in hindsight, I don't see anything wrong with
the spreads were in the paper?
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would remember reading the newspaper and going through, sitting in the shotgun on the way to the football game and talking about all the games that day. Be like, oh, what do you think? Michigan, Ohio State, to pick them.
Right? I will say that I've always been very impressed by the fact that the spreads that Las Vegas would land on, man, were they so close so many times. Like, how the fuck did they know that? You know, it's
because
like,
it was crowdsourced.
yeah.
Vegas
But
is
how can you crowdsource something that's unpredictable, right? Like, I don't know.
because it's
we
a
don't know
bid
the
and an
future.
ask. What do you mean? That's why. It's crowdsourced information.
Right, but we have no control over the outcome of a football game.
Yeah, but all the collective knowledge of all of the watchers of that sport all over the world collectively is the best information possible, which is why they're so close so often. Like,
No,
I
they
don't know.
still have to
Arbitrage.
set. No, they
don't
still
know.
have to set the lines, and
yeah,
they're
but they set the
incredible
line, but
at what they do.
Yeah, but they set the line based on the
No.
demand and supply, and then
False.
they get close, and then it moves as the game approaches.
That's not true.
Yes,
That's
it
not
is.
true.
Yes, it
This
is.
not true.
Well, this
There's no
introduces
market for it before they set the line, so it doesn't make
What?
sense. There's no market for it before they set.
Of course
an
there
established
is.
line.
Are you fucking crazy? Of course there
That's
is.
not how it works.
Yes, it is how it works.
Well, what's
No.
interesting is that once that line is set, however we get to that line, right? We could argue on how it gets set, but once it's there, an interesting thought process is, okay, let's say that the spread is 6.5, right, for a football game. I wonder how much that comes into play for coaching staff and play callers when a game's like, I don't know, 14-point spread, but they know they're coming in, the spread was
Never.
7.
Never.
It never should, but I wonder if that comes. I mean, I'm not saying anyone's like trying to do anything nefarious. I'm just saying, like, you know,
Well, they have.
psychologically.
Players have gotten in trouble just the past several years.
Well, no, okay.
for
Let's take
the
it
player
the other way.
props.
Hold on, let's take it the other way, Steve. Like in college football, you get like the crazy spreads, right? You get the cupcake game that, like, you know, Ohio State's playing against, you know, East Rutherford State or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like they're like predicted to win by 45 points. Well, you get into the third quarter and they're only winning by 21. Like,
Oh, I get it.
they got the game in hand, they're going to win, but they know that the spread was 45. How does that play into their play calling? Like, oh shit, we need to score 3 more touchdowns because that's what the spread was. Even though the spread shouldn't really matter, you got the win.
The
right?
spread matters to the alumni, though. In some of these college football games, it does. It actually does matter. So you got
That
to
sure
keep that
does.
in mind. So
That's
if you're one
true.
of the players, and you know these
Boosters.
alumni are paying all this money for you to live these great 4 years and party and be a superstar,
true.
and you know that these alumni, there's something there. And if you think
Listen,
that there isn't, you're wrong.
College is shady, and they've already done the right thing
It's not
and
even shady.
eliminated.
Like you're, like you know that these alumni are betting on the game, and you want to make them happy, and you're gonna cover. That happens.
And also, college players are broke, so they're easy targets for some naughty stuff. So they already wiped out. They did away with player props in collegiate sports, which is great
Did
policy.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're paying attention, trying to regulate this in the right way.
Oh, that's
I love
really
in the
interesting.
chat.
I didn't know that.
I love in the chat, Daniel S says Pete Rose ahead of the curve. Shout out Pete Rose.
No, yeah. Listen, I'm all for it, and you know, I really like the crowdsourced information. I really like it. This is not like this isn't a dead end where it's like just sugar and you're just poisoning and killing people. Like there's actual society benefits here from people that are, and there's people making a lot of money. That guy made almost $90 million betting on the election.
Did you say there's societal benefits to
betting markets? Yeah,
probably-
you're getting data. You're getting real crowdsourced data of like,
I love,
you know, interest rates or anything.
I would be hard pressed to think that legalizing sports gambling in a country would result in any sort of net
It's not
economic
just sports.
utility
It's not just
gain.
sports betting. It's everything.
social benefit. Yeah.
This is not generating a net benefit for society.
It is for me, and I'm the only one that matters in this discussion, as far as I'm concerned. Right? Like
I
from
love
a selfish
when we go down.
perspective, I'm winning in this.
I
whole
love
thing.
going down
Here we-
these JC philosophical rabbit holes. These are
Here
great.
we go.
If I'm winning in this situation, I'm good with it.
JC hopes the stock market crashes. He hopes we get another financial crisis.
That would be
He hopes
great.
everybody
I'm not. I
loses
doubt
their
it, but
money
that would be
gambling. If they don't lose their money in the stock market, that they lose it in the betting markets or the sports markets, right? What else? How else would you like to watch people lose their money? What else would make you happy to see?
I don't have any control about what other people do with their money. It's none of my business. Just like it's nobody's business what I do with my money, right? I can't control. I can't tell somebody else what to do with their money. They want to light it on fire. Knock yourself out. Light it on fire. You want to invest in Microsoft? Buy Microsoft. Buy bonds. Leave it in cash. Why is it my problem what other people do with their money?
I don't know, Sean.
I got a good one for all of us here, and then we'll get into options because I want to hear Sean's here. This is the Sean's been active in the real estate market, very observable here. Slide 6. you know, there's just a lot of like, you know, we talk about like, you know, real estate prices over the last year. Sean, what are you seeing by you in Colorado? I know Florida's getting hit.
That's where
Looks
I'm
like
moving to.
the Midwest and the Northeast continue to do well.
See the
I'm,
darkest red? See the darkest red there? That's where I'm buying my next
Yeah,
house.
no, that I'm jealous for you, Steve. I
Yep.
mean, that's
Florida.
what you want when you're looking to buy a house. Where I am, it's I don't know how it shows up there. You gotta go zoom in where I live. I'm in the middle of Colorado there, but I mean, anecdotally, in my neighborhood, prices have not come down. Houses that are on sale, they stay on sale longer than they have for a while, but people are still getting the prices they want. It's pretty crazy. Like we had, I mean, prices. I mean, like everywhere else, right? Like prices doubled coming out of COVID, right? Or during, starting during COVID, everything doubled. But
Yeah.
there's been no back off since then. It's just, it's holding, if not increasing. I mean, my next door neighbor, I think I told this story before, but my next door neighbor had their house up for sale. And she wanted what I thought was an obnoxious price. And it sat on the market for about 2 months, but she got it. And so
one of our neighbors just put up an obnoxious price too. So curious to see what happens there.
I love this chart. First of all, JC, bifurcated market. Second of all, this to me, it tells a counter trend story, right? All of the boomtown real estate markets that we heard about post-COVID for the past several years, it was a down south, West Coast story for the most part, right? And then the more northern regions were struggling or not keeping pace with the really hot down south markets. This is just give back. This is a corrective wave, right? Where
How
you're
about
seeing
Texas? A lot of red in Texas too, huh?
one of the hot spots.
look
See
at
some
that.
red out on the West
Look at
Coast,
that
too.
Midwest, though. That Midwest is
The
surprising.
Midwest, strong.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Strong like bull in the Midwest
Yeah.
there, huh?
I mean, look at Wisconsin and
Dude, Strazza doesn't know what
Illinois.
half those states are.
I was
Strazza's
just
like,
about to
yeah, I don't
say-
know. Is that Iowa? I don't even know.
Don't quiz me. What's the one with a lot of dark blue? Is that Kentucky? That's Kentucky.
In the
Right?
middle there.
Yeah.
That's probably Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm thinking more Tennessee. Tennessee's
Okay.
been kind of hot. I've been reading about Tennessee. Chattanooga was high on the list recently. I know that like when everyone was working from home post COVID, like Chattanooga was like the place a lot of people were moving to because it was like one of the cities in America at the time. This is probably not true anymore, but one of the first cities in America that had like free gigabit broadband internet for every citizen in the city.
Yeah.
And there's no state taxes in Tennessee, I believe, and state income taxes, and the cost of living was just really low. And it's a beautiful city. If you've ever been to Chattanooga, I've only driven through it, but it's beautiful.
Dude, home of the greatest minor league baseball hat ever, the Chattanooga Lookouts. They got the two eyes, right? Shout out to the Chattanooga Lookouts, minor league.
Speaking of, I'm seeing the Illinois being blue, and I just read something.
Not Michigan. Not a lot of blue in Michigan. What's up with Michigan?
No, yeah.
Wait. Yeah, there is.
Not like
There's
Ohio. Ohio's kicking Michigan's ass
Yeah.
on this one.
Well, hey,
Michigan.
Sorry,
I just
man.
read-
Water.
Guys, I just read in
it's the
Chicago-
hand.
Look, let's talk Illinois for a second, because I see a lot of blue in Illinois. In Chicago, I just read that there's a luxury apartment building right on Michigan Avenue. That's like the big street where a lot of money is in Chicago. And there's a building there. There's a Bloomingdale's in the building, but then above it, there's a Four Seasons, and then there's apartments. It's like a real high-end condo building. And they just sold an apartment there. I don't remember what the price was. It might have been like 13 million or whatever that it sold for. But guys, it's sold for the same price that it's sold for in 1999.
Wow.
That's crazy. So I don't know. There's some deals in Chicago. Hey, we had a good time in Chicago last fall. Great
Dude,
city.
Chicago's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great town.
If I
Little
had
Kingston
a lot
Mines
of money to
action.
invest, if I had a lot of money to invest in real estate right now, I'd be looking in Chicago, man. What a great city. And prices are depressed there for whatever reason. I mean, they're having issues with crime. I hear that's a big thing, but man, they'll solve that, just like New York, right? New York in the 70s was a very scary place. Nobody wanted to live in New York. A lot of crime.
Dude, the
a lot of
murder
stuff, but
rate in New York City is the lowest ever. That's crazy.
I think that's true kind of universally around the country as well, JC. I mean, I'm sure there's spots where it's bad, but I think generally speaking across the United States and maybe even around the world, it's lower.
All
than it's
right,
ever
one
been,
for the
but-
good guys, right? One for the good guys.
Yep. Well, if I could throw out a shout out to Chicago and the upper Midwest, summer, especially now, summertime, best time of the year up there. Go pick
It's a
up some real
little,
estate. You got
chilly
some.
this morning here in the Northeast, by the way. A little,
Uh-oh.
we're here.
Ooh.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's over.
Yep, it's coming. All right, Shawnee. Let's get done with the real estate market. I know we're all excited about real estate here these days. Steve Strazza YOLOing some REITs. I mean, what is this world coming to? Shawnee, what's on your mind? You think the world's coming to an end? I see individual investors, more bears and bulls, 3 weeks in a row, with the S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq all hitting new 52-week highs.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm waiting for this rotation that we're seeing to help out my portfolio because it hasn't been helping out my portfolio at all in the last 3 weeks. It's been tough, man. A lot of high beta names. I've been talking about this for weeks now. The high beta names they're getting wrecked. It's hard.
Goldman put out a note this morning saying it's time investors are going to buy the dip in momentum stocks.
Dude, do we buy more of this BBIO? This thing looks great, dude.
The B bio. A lot of
The
biotechs
bio
are looking
looks
better and better.
pretty good. Looks pretty
good.
The ALNY, you see that one? It's one of the mega.
Dude, don't hate on the boring games. I bought some Johnson & Johnson earlier this week.
I was in calls.
Hey,
J&J has absolutely popped off. The staples, the boring stocks have arrived. They're working
I'm in
out
a
here.
name that I risk making myself look foolish again because remember a couple of years ago I got it a C limited and you guys made fun of me because I thought it was a shipping stock. I'm in a stock right now that I'm not sure what they do. I want to say they're AI, but they probably aren't. Ticker HSAI. I'm liking the setup in this thing.
What is this? I've heard
probably
about
not an AI name.
Yeah, but it has AI in it.
But it has AI in it. Hesai Group.
Hesai.
This one's come across my desk a couple times.
This is a $3.5 billion Chinese auto parts company, allegedly. I'll take the under.
It's a laser situation.
Yeah, they're definitely not selling auto parts.
3D LiDAR solutions for autonomous vehicles.
Fine. Line go up. That's all I care about.
This is a Riley stock.
This is a Riley stock. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how that got
Riley or O'Reilly?
O'Reilly. Auto parts. Yow.
Is that a Connecticut thing?
Somebody was talking about Models the other day. Do you remember Models on the radio? Best ad ever.
I remember Models. I didn't listen to the radio, but there used to be a Model right on 42nd Street in Madison. I used to go there. I used to go in my lunch break. Go in there and kind of snoop around.
Yeah.
Nobody beats the Wiz. You guys remember that one?
Yeah. Oh, nobody beats the Wiz. Another just fabulous tech companies. These hardware tech companies. They're coming back. Have you guys seen Newegg? Have you heard? Do you guys know what Newegg is?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
NEGG. They're like industry leader in buying computers and techie stuff online. I bought a million stuff from Newegg over the years. Our tech people love this website. It's like Micro Center.
Yeah.
The insiders, really just one insider in this name. Do you have the chart funds? Absolutely insane. The stock's up like a couple $1,000% in, I don't know, a couple months. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but love to see it. This insider.
It's consumer spending money, as our friend Jeff Mackey likes to say.
Dude, by the way, that SE, speaking of consumer spending money, this is the Amazon of Singapore. And this thing is just
not
working out nicely for us.
Not a shipping stock.
Not a shipping stock. Sounds like one, though. C Limited. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I were a shipping stock, that would be a great name for one.
Yeah. What's up with Walmart today, by the way, boys? Not looking good.
They had earnings.
Dude, do you know Walmart makes $2 billion a day?
Dude, well, they don't make that
sales. They gross.
It gross. Yeah. Whatever. $2 billion a day coming in the door. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just walked into Walmart for the first time in a long time because I wanted to get some photos off my phone. I wanted to get some photos printed, and they had someone told me, "Oh, you can go to Walmart and get them done in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Okay."
You could do anything. These stores are like little cities. I'm finding myself.
They got Kinko's. They got like FedEx and stuff like that in the Walmarts.
I'm finding myself using the Walmart delivery more and more over Amazon. It's the same thing. The products seem to be cheaper and they get to me just as fast. Anybody else doing that? I couldn't do this in Key West.
And then how do you go to the delivery thing and put the item and it tells you that Walmart will bring it faster?
Yeah, it'll tell you right there. We could deliver this
Uber Eats or
in an hour, or we could ship it to you by tomorrow and you'll have it in the morning. Like you sign up for the Walmart Plus, I think it's called. It's like Amazon Prime. Same thing. I'm using it more than Amazon since we've been here. Some of the stuff's super cheap.
Anyway,
like
talking
a
about the
grocery
consumer, I mean, Walmart just raised their guidance this morning. I mean, how bad could the consumer be if Walmart's raising guidance, right?
I don't know, about 5% of the downside, roughly.
Walmart is one of these stocks. I don't know how much information we really get from Walmart at this point. They're such a powerhouse.
Mackie says all the information comes from Walmart. Mackie says that if he was stuck on an island, on a deserted island all by himself, and he got one piece of information about the consumer, it would be the Walmart annual report.
I wonder if you were to ask Jeff, what is their like mix in sales mix between discretionary items and more necessity staples items? I wonder what that would be. Is it like 50-50? Because that's where really the information is. Because some stuff they're going to keep buying in bad times. So how much of their mix is the stuff that they stop buying? That's where the information is.
I'm curious to see, guys, where I live. There's a Walmart. It's been there for a long time. But in the last year and a half, we've had a Costco open up just down the street, but closer to town. Like they're both on the edge of town, right? But Walmart's a little further out of town than the Costco is. I'm curious to see if that Costco is going to wreck that Walmart and see if that thing goes away.
It's a different clientele. It's a different people probably.
Is it? Yeah, I guess maybe it is. Yeah.
Spencer, as a suburban dad, you are officially a suburban dad.
That's right.
How's your Costco going experiences? Are you just running shit there, or what? You getting your hot dog?
We're going on Saturday. I try to only go once a month, because otherwise I'll just go there all. If I go there more than once a month, I'll be there all the time. And
you go with your wife and kid?
I haven't yet, but we're going on Saturday as if it's a family outing. It's gonna be
outing to Costco.
Yeah. But we have to like stock up on all the essentials. Got to get the formula, got to get the diapers, all that jazz. But yeah, if I go more than once a month, it ends up being like bad for my wallet. So we go
at least once a week. We go at least once a week
to Costco.
Yeah, at least
once
a
lot.
Week.
Holy crap!
Yeah, well, because my wife does her
it's a
grocery
whole
shopping
thing
there now.
It's not.
Yeah, my wife does her grocery shopping there.
Not all like that.
I mean, look, we're getting good prices and stuff. I mean, we end up buying more shit than we need. I think sometimes my wife's like, but we're getting such a great deal, all that. But I will say, guys, the Walmart the Costco that opened near me, at least this one, at least it's not like crazy. Some of the Costcos I've been to over the years have been super crazy. Like when we lived in Chicago, there was a Costco near us. That place, I hated that place. It was always a million people in there. It was an absolute zoo. So I avoided Costco for years. Even, we had some here in Colorado that were a drive away, a pretty good drive away. And we'd go to those and they'd be pretty busy. I didn't really like them. But this one near us, maybe because it's new, I don't know, but it's like, it's chill. It's like you can go in, you can move around. There's not that many people there. It's nice.
Yeah, we went on Saturday, like midday, and it was absolutely mobbed.
Sure. Yeah.
We're saying
that's usually the case.
My wife makes those decisions around here.
Walmart.
And so Walmart,
This is a plug for Costco Business Center. There's not many of them. I think there's only like a few dozen in the country. But if you live near one, I live about an hour away from one. Check it out. Check out the Costco Business Center. It's basically just a restaurant supply company, but in Costco form. Restaurant quantities of things.
So now we know where Spencer remote office is.
That's right.
Dude, Aquaphor. You got plenty of Aquaphor?
Well, I got some of that in the house. I just used it, actually.
I don't know.
Dude, Aquaphor for the kids. If there's anything wrong with them, just put Aquaphor on it. Like, that old Chris Rock, bit that he was doing, like, the Robitussin. Oh, you got to put some tussin on it. Remember that bit that he did? That's how it is with Aquaphor. And by the way, as a father, if you have as much Aquaphor in your house as we do, if you have like chapped lips or something, or you got something else wrong with you, like some kind of rash, put some Aquaphor on it. It's not just for babies, adults too. Shout out Aquaphor.
I got a little cut on my foot. I just put some on this morning.
There you go.
That's what it is.
There you go. If you know, you know.
Couple things. People are talking about the Amazon Fresh. Instacart really got hit on that. Hasn't recovered like a week or two ago. Wavy's been making this point all day in the chat, and he's so right. Shout out Doug McMillan of Walmart. He has been one of the top CEOs, top operators in recent market history. And look at this. Just came across from the Redfin survey this morning, which is now put out by Rocket. 44% of American workers are delaying or canceling major purchases like a home or car due to feelings about job security. You could I guess bucket that in the category of another survey that I don't really believe, but sounds like a ton of dry powder for housing. Shout out homies. Half of the people putting off major purchases like a home. I don't know. Nothing. A lot of real estate today from us.
Yeah, but the problem with the real estate sitch is that if you are in a house and you have a mortgage, you're going to have to leave that house to buy a more expensive house at a higher rate. So it keeps people stuck in there is the problem.
Yep. People are trapped. People are trapped.
Yep. When will the sellers capitulate and say, screw it, I gotta go. I gotta go anyway. Just give me a price because I gotta go. But
I got a good recess. Let's do it quick and let's get out of here.
Oh, we haven't done a recess all week. Yeah, let's do a recess for sure.
All right, I want to give a shout out to Cornish hens. Underrated. Get yourself some Cornish hens. You know what's really good is if you get like a bed of vegetables, like broccoli and some carrots and peppers. Just get like a bed of vegetables, cauliflower, whatever you're into, and then put 2 or 3 Cornish hens on top of that so that they sweat all their Cornish hen sweat on your delicious vegetables. Fantastic. And then if you really want to get down and dirty, get some like cornbread stuffing, make like a cornbread stuffing and shove it up the Cornish hen's ass and let it kind of just sit there. And you got the cornbread in the Cornish hen. Woo-wee, that is good, man.
I don't think I've ever had this.
They're like just like little chickens.
Is it like corned beef? What is it? What's it taste like?
Cornish hen. It's like a mini chicken.
It tastes like a chicken?
Yeah.
Like alligator. Tastes like chicken.
It tastes like a chicken, but like they're little and you put cornbread stuffing in the butt.
Never tried this.
You should try. Get yourself some Cornish hens. I'm sure they have them at Costco or whatever, right?
Shout out.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do. Get some Cornish hens. Get like 4 of them because I know how you like to eat, Strazza.
You cook up some interesting stuff, huh?
Cornish hens is not that interesting. It literally is a mini chicken.
Hey, what'd you end up? No, it sounds exotic. What did you end up doing with the quail eggs?
I didn't buy them.
Oh.
No. I'm just showing you the picture because, you know, we laugh about that with the uni.
I stumbled.
I wouldn't know what to do with quail eggs. They're so little. Like, unless you have sea urchin, what do you? I don't eat quail eggs in any other way.
I stumbled upon some ostrich eggs at the farmer's market the other day.
They're like 200 grams of protein.
What the hell do you do with that?
You make a lot. You make a giant scrambled egg, dude. 200 grams of protein. These ostrich eggs.
I gotta try one.
They are like the best thing for you.
Looks like a dinosaur.
You're making me hungry, so it's making me think. What are we having for dinner next Wednesday night?
Next Wednesday night, what are we having for dinner? Probably like, you know, we figured we go to happy hour. We could bounce and go to dinner somewhere. I don't know. It's a good question. You want to do something nice and fancy, or do you want to just keep it grimy?
It doesn't need to be fancy, but something good for sure.
We're gonna have a lot of people there. There's gonna be too many, like people flying in for no reason. Like this is just a happy hour. There's like Danny's flying in. Like everybody's coming in now all of a sudden. Strazza's got FOMO. Strazza has a no-fly rule in August.
Wait.
Wait.
What's going on? What's going on?
So we're doing some work. We're doing some work for About You. It's a nonprofit organization. You guys look it up. It's great. You know, they're taking, you know, great athletes from areas like Harlem and the Bronx and New Rochelle and that, you know, all that Yonkers. And these are great athletes that don't have like support with tutors and coaches to really set them up to get D1 offers and stuff like that. So this organization About You does exactly that, and they're killing it. So just a few of us are getting together and we're helping them. And, you know, there's just a lot of Jesuits involved for whatever reason. I'm still not sure why. So like, you know, the coach of Fordham Prep went to Fairfield University where Strazza and I were educated. And then Jay Woods is, you know, he went to St. Joe's Prep in Philly, and then he went to Fordham undergrad. And then, you know, Frank Capillari's kid goes to Fordham Prep, so he knows the coach there. So it's just like this, like an incestuous, you know, situation. Mike Martin is helping this organization too. So like, it's just cool. So anyway,
but I'm kind of curious about this.
Well, we're going to put on an event at the New York Athletic Club. There's some sort of relationship between like that White Plains, Yonkers, New Rochelle area and the New York Athletic Club. I'm not sure what the relationship there is. I'm fascinated to find out eventually. So we're going to put on some event. We're going to put on a nice event there. So we're just meeting at the New York Stock Exchange just to talk about it. And now everybody wants to be a part of it. So I'm not mad about it, but it was just started out as a way for a few people to have a conversation about a bigger event. And now,
So this is not the event. This is a
not the
conversation
event.
about the event.
yeah.
This is the event before the event.
Wait,
This is the
Sean,
event for the event.
Sean's flying in. This could have been a freaking phone call or an email. Sean's flying in.
Sean, because Sean's doing something for Yahoo or something like that day
Sorry.
too.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like it could have been an email. Is all I'm saying.
So anyway, a lot of Jesuits are involved. You know,
You can
Don
send me an email
Corleone
about
went to
it.
Georgetown. He's flying up for it too.
Okay.
I went to a Jesuit high school.
Perlman did not go to a Jesuit school.
No.
He's coming. Yeah, I went to a Jesuit high school too, and university. I got Jesuits coming out of my ears, bro.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
All the Jesuits in my town all had the best athletes. St. Joe's, shout out St. Joe's in Buffalo, New York. Best football team, best hockey team, best everything, man. They would kill
Really?
everybody. Oh, yeah.
St. Joe's in New Jersey also.
What about
had the best-
Canisius? Shout out Canisius.
My high school
Canisius
was
is college. Canisius is college. That's a little different, but like there are like 4 or 5 Jesuit high schools in the Buffalo area that, man, in athletics, they just crush it. They all do really well.
I feel like half of the Jesuit high schools are actually named St. Joe's. My high school was St. Joseph's.
You got a
Yeah.
lot of your Loyolas too, though.
St.
We got
Joe,
St.
St. Joe,
Joe's.
St. Anthony, right?
We got
pretty
St.
much-
Francis. Yeah, we got a lot
St.
of them.
Francis. All right, let's get out of here, guys. We got Gold Rush live today at 2:00. Options Jam session with Sean at 3. AC Crypto live at 6. I did put the link to Sean's free note in the chat. Also in the chat is the link to yesterday's video with JC and Jeff Mackey that is pinned to the top of the chat.
That was awesome.
If you want to understand what's actually happening with the consumer, don't look at the red book or the blue book or the green book. You got to look at what Jeff's looking at. He laid it all out yesterday. So check out that replay. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. How about that? Have a good rest of your day. Go make some money. And adios. I don't know.
All
YOLO
right.
responsibly.
Later.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground.